All right, guys, Tyler here today with another assembly video on the 392 Engine Mod Skid. So there are two different versions of the 392. There is the early version that is a cast aluminum pan, and there is a newer version that is a stamped steel oil pan. This one we're going to be doing is a stamped steel oil pan. The only differences are going to be two different engine mounts that are a little bit longer and a little bit different exhaust crossover. So what we're going to start with is actually assembling the UHMW and aluminum to the steel bracketry for the skid system. So what we'll do is take your UHMW, put it to the side, take your aluminum, put it in place here. It only lines up one way where the oil access door is going to be open for you. So we will take our 3/8 countersunk bolts in your hardware kit. So you're going to see two different sizes. You're going to see 1.25 inch and you're going to see 7/8. 7/8 is for the aluminum and UHMW to the steel. And then the longer 1.25 inch are going to be mounting the exhaust crossover to the structure as well. So for this step, we just need the 3/8 and the jam nylocks. You'll see me say jam nylock a lot. It's the jam nylock is these little skinny ones compared to the full-size regular nut. So what we're going to do is take and put our 3/8 by 7/8 bolts in these respected positions. And then this one and this one. These five are going to match the pattern on this steel exhaust crossover. So we'll leave those out. So now all you have to do is get your jam nylocks, start attaching them. I like to do one top and bottom so then I can actually flip it on its side. Like that. And then just start populating all of the bolts and nuts. Like that. Amazing. Sweet. There's one. And there's one. So now that all those are populated, we can also go to the oil drain door and do the same thing. You'll notice there's 4 smaller countersunk holes and 2 larger ones. The 2 middles are going to be for your 3/8 bolts. Again, just the same we did on there. Put them right here in the middle and add your nuts on the back side. So once you got all these on, you can actually just tighten them down, tighten the aluminum to everything. What you'll need is a 7/32 Allen head and a 9/16 socket, depending on whichever way you want to put together. I turn this impact down quite a bit because you don't need very much on the actual UHMW. There is a torque spec I will add below. You don't want to over tighten it because you can pull through the UHMW. We're really just trying to make all 3 things attached to the nylocks. All right, I think that's all on that. Yes, that is assembled. We'll finish these 2 up real quick. Pull these full lined. Perfect. So once you have all that put together, you can just install that door. All right. So when you have your fuel door assembled here, you're going to need the 1/4 bolts that are in the kit. There are only 4 of them, and one is a shorter size, and I'm going to show you where that goes. So on this, you'll see 3 gold squeeze nuts and then 1 flush press-in PEM. The press-in PEM, the one at the upper middle portion of this, is going to be the 5/8 bolt. So when you assemble it, you're going to do the 1-inch bolts in all the gold squeeze nut areas, and then this 1 5/8 bolt in this corner here. And once I get it all attached, I will flip it over and show you why. So clearances to all your important stuff are important to us. So where we have the clearance, we utilize it, and where we don't have the clearance, we fix it. So on the back side here, you can see the 3 squeeze nuts from the back, but this is the PEM area. So this is just really close. It's not really close, but you got about 1/2 inch to the bottom of the pan right here. So that's why we do a flush PEM right here and a flush actually mounted bolt. Just remember that's where that one goes. The first step of your engine skid is assembled. Now we will go to attaching the steel exhaust crossover part. And for that, like I said earlier, you will need these 5 longer 3/8 countersinks and nuts and washers. We'll need 5 regular nylocks. You can see the difference, and 5 3/8 washers. Put this to the side, get the danger tool out of here. All right, this part can be kind of fun just because if you can get one started just like that, and the other side, then you can actually rotate it up. Come here. All right, so with those in, you can go ahead and tighten them down like that. All right, so with your exhaust crossover piece attached, your engine skid is now almost ready to install. The next part, we will show the engine mounts. So you'll have two engine mounts. One looks like this. More normal one that does say, or is stamped, DS is driver side, will go on the inside like this with some more bolts. Let me get those. So you will need these 4 carriage bolts, 4 nuts, 4 washers. And we'll put carriage bolt through like that with a washer and a nut. Carriage bolt through like that with a nut and a washer. Now these you don't want to tighten down just because when you're going to install it on the vehicle, it's going to be a lot easier if you've got a little bit of movement in these. So passenger side, also laser etched. Go on the inside, stick it through, washer, nut, and then one more, washer, and nut. So now you can tighten these up a little bit if you want, just so they're not all over the place. But these are what's going to attach to the factory motor mounts in the vehicle. We do provide 2 longer M10 bolts. These are M10 15x50s. If your engine bolt that we're going to attach to is too short, you'll have to remove that one out of the factory PEM, insert my bolt all the way through so that you can get a nut and a washer on the top side, and then tighten everything down when you got it all tightened. Now, the fun part with modular skids. So, all right, as you can see, I brought in one of my HD Crossmembers so we can talk through the actual mod skid base a little better. So we're gonna flip this over like it's on the vehicle, just like that. So when you're attaching the actual mod skid to the factory or HD Crossmember, this is about where it's gonna sit. And you'll notice the bolt holes line up with these 2 big rectangular holes. That's where these nut sticks come into play. So what you'll do, obviously this is all upside down. What you'll do is these nut sticks are going to go into the cross member just like this, and then sit in there when it's not upside down. And then with the 392, you'll receive a couple extra parts in the mod skid kit. If you have the full skid system, you won't need one of these parts, but for the mod skids, you will need both of them. You'll get this countersunk bracket that's going to sit on the steel here, just like this. And then these 2 M12 bolt will go through into my nut sticks that are in the frame or in the cross member here. Now, there's also 2 other nuts on the backside. So what you do is you get this bracket, fill up the gap, and then use your other 2 supplied M12 bolts, attach here. And then if you are still mod skid, there are open holes here for factory threaded inserts. A lot of the transfer case skids will have a leg right here. All we say is to take that bolt out, put my bracket underneath it, put the T-case back on top, bolt it back down. But this is how it should look as a modular skid in your 392. Like I said, if you have the rest of the skids, you will still use this piece with the 2 countersunk bolts. But now the gas tank skid and the T-case skid are going to butt up nice and flush to this, and you won't need to do anything else. So that's the complete install of the 392 modular engine skid 7075 edition. Thanks for watching.